Ha sido una semana de muchos rumores en torno a penitenciarías y dependencias, subordinaciones con implicaciones del Homeland Security de los Estados Unidos. El alcalde de algunas de las locaciones más importantes del estado de New Jersey ha tenido que rendir implicaciones en torno a cierto toque de queda que ha tenido que implementarse debido a lo que ocurrió en medio del Homeland Security y algunas penitenciarías. Esto sirvió para impulsar un toque de queda obligatorio, huelgas, protestas, se está hablando de maltrato, y esto ha sido una nueva y gran crisis para el Homeland Security, que ha tenido que revisar todos estos protocolos, especialmente creo que la crisis más grande que ha tenido que enfrentar el ex senador Mullin, quien ahora está al frente de esta dependencia del gobierno. El líder del Homeland Security ha disipado todos los rumores en torno a estas noticias. Él salió a dar la cara y a explicar. Esto fue lo que dijo. Evidencia.
What happened at Delaney Hall?
Well, a lot of claims were made, and they just absolutely weren't true. The first one came out and said it was overcrowded. We have today, I believe, under 700 detainees there. It's licensed for just over 1,000 beds. We have twice the square footage at Delaney Hall than the state penitentiary does in New Jersey. They said that the medical condition was horrible. We have twice as much medical staff per person than the state penitentiary does in New Jersey.
What happened with the protesters?
Well, the protesters is interesting. The governor and the state officials were going out and saying that they were peaceful protesters and ICE was agitating them. That all changed when the governor finally allowed the state police to do their job. And by the way, they're professionals, and the locals there were absolutely professionals. When they came in, they quickly realized these aren't peaceful protesters, these are rioters.
El problema principal en Delaney Hall, en New Jersey, es que se estaba impidiendo controlar una situación que estaba ocurriendo allí. Cuando el gobernador le dio el permiso a las autoridades policiales locales, todo quedó prácticamente resuelto. Dice el ex senador Mullin que se obtuvo una información acerca de esta penitenciaría y que hasta el momento en el que se investigó no había problemas de hacinamiento. Hay espacio para más de 1,000 personas, apenas había unas 700, hay camas disponibles y están las condiciones básicas que tienen este tipo de instalaciones. El nuevo líder del Homeland Security ha aclarado como parte de su testimonio de apertura ante el Comité de Apropiaciones del Senado de los Estados Unidos que lo que está pasando ahora es distinto. No se está escogiendo qué ley cumplir y cuál no cumplir. Simplemente se están cumpliendo las leyes. Esto es parte de lo que dijo. Evidencia.
You know, I do have an opening statement here, but wow. Senator Murphy, the outlandish claims you made there is just flat wrong. You start saying we're breaking the law, and you really start looking at it and we're enforcing the laws that Congress did pass. That's reckless. When you start saying it's unconstitutional, what's unconstitutional that we're doing? We swore to uphold the Constitution just like you swore to uphold the Constitution. And for you to throw my 275,000 employees underneath DHS and with a broad stroke like that is reckless and irresponsible on your part. We're doing the job that Congress gave us the authority to do. And our men and women out there every single day is enforcing the laws. If you don't like the laws, you can change them. We're not picking and choosing which laws we enforce. We're simply enforcing the law, period, full stop. When you throw out reckless terms and you start referring to our agents as being dangerous, unconstitutional, and lawless, that's why our agents' death threats are up by 8,000%. I know that's not what you want, but your political theater, that's what it causes. When you start looking at assaults on our officers, they're up by 1,300%. Senator Murphy, is that what you want? I don't think it is. I really don't. But I understand the political theater. I understand wanting to get sound bites. And that was obvious because the whole time he was giving your testimony, he wasn't looking at me. He was looking at a camera. I get that. I get it. If you have bigger political ambitions, fine. Just say it. But don't do it at the expense of my officers. We want to really talk about funding. You haven't funded my officers. CBP and ICE has been willing to do the job for free. Why? Because of a reckless administration. Prior to President Trump coming in and saving America, you had a reckless administration that was destroying America by letting millions of illegals into our country. We're a nation of laws, and we're going to enforce those laws. What separates us from other countries is because people respect the rule of law. There's a reason why people are flooding to our country and not flooding to leave.
Esta argumentación es brillante. No estamos exigiendo o eligiendo qué leyes vamos a cumplir. Estamos cumpliendo las leyes. Si no te gustan esas leyes, cámbialas. Pero de momento, esas son las establecidas, este es el mandato que nos han concedido, esto es lo que vamos a hacer. Ha sido brillante la intervención del nuevo líder del Homeland Security, con toda la prudencia, con todo el aplomo, respondiendo en verdad a estos cuestionamientos. ¿Qué más dijo? Evidencia.
And it's our job to protect the homeland. And we do that every single day. Every day I walk into that office, I feel so blessed that President Trump gave me this opportunity because I protect my backyard as hard as I protect your backyard. And I do it with pride. And every one of the employees, all 275,000 employees at DHS, they do it with pride too. And they don't separate a blue state from a red state. We look at it as a whole. But your reckless tone is getting people hurt. And it's got to stop. The fact that CBP and ICE hasn't been funded now for a historical amount of time is absolutely appalling. It should never happen. But yet we're playing political games. If your party is for open borders and an amnesty, then be honest. Because if ICE can't do their job, then who's supposed to be getting the illegals out? That's what they are stood up to do. That's what Congress passed and gave them the authority and created the agency to do. If you don't want Customs and Border Patrol, and their job is to control our borders and the custom entry points, if you don't want them, then be honest with the American people and say, we want open borders. But don't sit there and accuse us of a bunch of stuff that you know yourself isn't true. Now, I'll go back to this. It's an honor to sit here in front of you. I take it with great pride to be Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And I'm surrounded with great men and women every single day I walk into that office. Regardless of what you say or some other people say, we're doing a great job. And we have a zero-fail mission, and we take that to heart every day. And one of the people that I'm surrounded with is Troy Edgar, my deputy. I couldn't do my job without the people around me. And so thank you, Senator Britt. Thank you, Ranking Member Murphy, for allowing him to be up here with us. Because some of the questions he may be better suited answered. With that, I yield back.
Brillante. Fue más lejos Tom Human. Vamos con Tom Human. Él fue a este lugar que ha sido tan criticado. Dice que entró en la cafetería, comió la misma comida que los que estaban allí, vio lo que a su alrededor estaban comiendo y no pudo encontrar qué era eso que estaban diciendo para armar un caos propagandístico con este asunto que terminó resolviéndose cuando la ley y el orden y la colaboración estatal llegaron al lugar a hacer lo suyo. La descripción de Tom Human es simple, pero al mismo tiempo es lapidaria. Esto fue lo que dijo. Evidencia.
Remember what started all this, you got Democratic lawmakers on Memorial Day making false allegations about the facility, about the food, the medical care, hunger strikes. I went into that facility. I went through the medical. I went through outdoor recreation, indoor recreation. I even made a surprise visit this weekend and walked into the cafeteria and ate the same meal that the detainees around me were eating. And I made sure my tray equaled their tray. I had spaghetti and meat sauce. I had beans. I had green beans. I had bread and rolls. I had drinks. I had dessert. The food was good. It's all a false premise. There was never a hunger strike. The congressman said, "Oh, people are on hunger strikes." No, they weren't. They may not be eating in the cafeteria, but what I found out, they're ordering food from the commissary and eating in their cells. So there wasn't any abuse. It's not inhumane conditions. I went to the entire facility. I ate the same meal they ate. That facility is well run, and the governor keeps saying she's going to keep raising hell if that facility shuts down. Well, I got news for the governor. That facility isn't going anywhere. We're going to enforce the law. We're going to detain people, and we'll remove people. Matter of fact, a lot of the people in that facility we couldn't release because they're mandatorily detained by federal statute. So we couldn't release them if we even wanted to. But we're not going to release any of them. Everybody in that facility I have ascertained is legally being detained. Legally being detained. Many of them, again, mandatory detention, many of them criminals.